The Holy Scriptures are a whole collection of very cruel stories that make the reader shudder. But the story of 8-year-old Dinah is one of the most horrible plots in the Bible, which is impossible to read without tears and pity for the poor girl. The book of Genesis, chapter 34. It is there that the story of Dinah is described, the only daughter of Jacob and Leah, who was born after the birth of 6 sons in the 13th year of Jacob's stay in Laban. Here I would like to immediately clarify. Leah was also the daughter of Jacob. So Dinah is both his daughter and his granddaughter. Sometime after the birth of Dinah, Jacob went to the city of Shechem and lived there. Dinah decided to go to Shechem herself and look at her outfits for the holiday. On the day when Dinah came to Shechem, the holiday began. The chronicles of the ancient Jewish historian Josephus Flavius also contain a story about Dinah. He writes about her as a fully grown girl. The historian condemns her for being dressed too frivolously. In the paintings of various medieval artists, Dinah is depicted as fully grown. But according to the Bible, the girl was only 8 years old. Historians have calculated her age by comparing different biblical events. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. The book of Genesis says that Dinah went alone. But this is unlikely to have been the case, so we can safely assume that Dinah went with her mother or brothers to Shechem. But what happened in Shechem defies logical explanation and justification. And Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her and took her, and lay with her, and did violence to her. That is, some aristocrat, the son of Prince Hamor named Shechem, saw little Dinah at a celebration, kidnapped her, and used her for his own perverted purposes. Medieval researchers were sure that Dinah was at least 15 to 16 years old. But why did no one start counting and comparing dates, as modern scientists did? I suppose that it was in the late Middle Ages that records of some events that would have added to Dinah's age were removed or lost from the Bible. That is why modern scientists believe that Jacob's daughter, who was kidnapped and lost her honor, was only 8 years old. A little later, it turned out that Shechem fell in love with Dinah to such an extent that he wanted to take her as his wife. And Shechem said to Hamor, his father, saying, "Take me this maiden as my wife." Here again they write that Dinah was not a girl, but already a young woman. She remained in the house of Hamor, and Hamor himself came to the house of Jacob and Leah to ask for the hand of their only daughter. Hamor did not come alone, but together with the rapist Shechem. Dinah's father did not think long and agreed to give his dishonored daughter in marriage to Shechem. But then Dinah's brothers were outraged, who could not forgive Shechem for the outrage against their younger sister. They, Simeon and Levi, took swords together and went to the city of Shechem, where they killed all the men and boys. And they killed Hamor himself, and Shechem his son with the sword. And they took Dinah from the house of Shechem, and went out. The brothers continued the pogroms. They began to plunder the houses of ordinary residents of Shechem, and all the property of the prince and all his wives and children were taken into slavery. Jacob, seeing this from his sons, condemned them, but Dinah's brothers believed that they had acted correctly. Their first priority was revenge for their sister and robbery at the same time. Even on his deathbed, Jacob cursed his sons for their atrocities. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords are instruments of cruelty. Let not my soul come into their council, nor let my glory be joined to their assembly. For in their anger they have slain a man, and in their own desire have they hamstrung a calf. Cursed be their anger, for it is cruel, and their wrath, for it is fierce. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. But no one ever found out what Dinah herself thought, because they did not ask her. Perhaps she herself would have loved Shechem, having married him. The story is terrible because it shows all the lack of rights of girls and women in those days. And what is it like to live knowing that because of you, the entire city was destroyed, including babies? How does Dinah live with this? By the way, in one of the versions of the legend, which is told in the Apocrypha Asenath, it is said that Dinah became pregnant by Shechem. She gave birth to a daughter but did not raise her. The girl was adopted by Potiphar, and when she grew up, she married her uncle, Joseph the Beautiful, who was Dinah's half-brother. Yes, you must agree, this story is truly terrible. But in biblical times, such events also happened,